There are a lot of different thoughts about marriage, some better than others. And so I decided to find a few ideas on marriage that I thought would be helpful for us. And the first quote is from Homer. He says, "There is nothing nobler or more admirable than when two people who see eye to eye keep house as man and wife, confounding their enemies and delighting their friends." Now, G.K. Chesterton had a little bit different take on this. He said, "Marriage is a great adventure, like going to war." He says, "I have known many happy marriages, but never a compatible one. The whole aim of marriage is to fight through and survive the instant when incompatibility becomes unquestionable." Now, some of you may remember Jack Benny. The great comedian Jack Benny once said, "My wife Mary and I have been married for 47 years, and not once have we had an argument serious enough to consider divorce. Murder, yes. Divorce, no." I think C.S. Lewis sums up the idea of marriage and what marriage is in a very wonderful way. He talks about love. Love as distinct from being in love is not merely a feeling. It is a deep unity maintained by the will and deliberately strengthened by habit, reinforced by the grace which both partners ask and receive from God. They can have this love for each other even at those moments when they do not like each other, just as you love yourself even when you do not like yourself. You know, it's true. It's an amazing thing, marriage. It's beautiful, but it can be ugly. It can be fulfilling, but marriage is messy. Marriage and family are the cornerstone of society. It's like the air we breathe and the food we eat, the water we drink. It's necessary for life, and it is the pinnacle of all creation. It is very good. That's why Blessed John Paul II said, "As the family goes, so goes the nation, and so goes the whole world in which we live." Now, marriage and family have been under attack, a great attack, for a long time now. And it seems like the enemy is always getting the upper hand. Attacks on marriage include the push for same-sex marriage and adoption services for same-sex couples, a welfare state that rewards those that remain unmarried, there's pornography, abortion, contraception, materialism. Now, the relativists and the progressives in our society have launched an all-out assault on family and marriage. They want to completely redefine what marriage and family are. Once again, Blessed John Paul II said, "The great danger for family life in the midst of any society whose idols of pleasure, comfort, and independence lies in the fact that people close their hearts and become selfish." So I think Chesterton was right. Marriage is a great adventure, like going to war. But married couples should remember one thing always, as motivational speaker Zig Ziglar said. Many marriages would be better if the husband and wife clearly understood that they are on the same side. We're all soldiers in the war, the married and the unmarried alike. And we have many allies, Catholics, non-Catholics, Christians, non-Christians, but the other side does as well. There are two main battles that we fight in this war. The first is the battle within ourselves, the fight against our pride and selfishness, which destroys faith, hope, and love. The second is the fight against the sinful world around us, a world that wants to lure us into believing the great lie. A world that speaks of love and compassion and tolerance, but whose goal is exactly the opposite. Now, St. Paul knew very well, as Christians, we were at war. For he tells us, put on the armor of God, so that you may be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil. For our struggle is not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, with powers, with the world rulers of this present darkness, with evil spirits in the heavens. Of course, the armor we put on is Christ. The weapons we have are the sacraments. And we must always remember our sacrament of baptism. The day when we were made sons and daughters of God the Father and incorporated into his kingdom, which we are called to defend with our lives. Penance and reconciliation, that great hospital that heals us when we've been wounded in battle, that restores us to health so we can rejoin the fight. And of course, the Eucharist, Christ himself, our leader who strengthens us and brings us into himself, who fights side by side with us in this earthly and heavenly battle. And of course, the strength of any army is communication, knowing what the battle plans are, prayer and conversation with God, reading the scriptures. This is how we fight the first battle, the hidden battle within ourselves. And this is where we get our strength to fight the other battle within the world. We're told to be in the world, but not of the world. And since we are in the world, it is our Christian duty to be involved and influence the affairs of the world. We do this by acts of charity and kindness, of teaching, witnessing, evangelizing. We do this in the political world by being engaged and engaging others, and by exercising our rights and our right to vote. Our country was founded on the principle that we have been given unalienable rights by God. The right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and that we formed this government with the sole intention of protecting those rights, and that the government receives its power to govern us for our consent. So it is our duty and obligation to use our vote to put into power representatives that will protect our rights, the rights given to us by God. And first and foremost, we must vote for life and liberty. Without life, without liberty, none of the other rights matter. Those that do not protect our right to life, those that do not protect our right to liberty, those that do not protect our right to the free exercise of religion, those that do not protect the dignity of the human person, those that do not protect marriages and families, must be voted out and replaced with those that will. This is our Catholic duty and obligation. And the most powerful sign we have, the best form of motivation and instruction, is a witness of our own lives. Now, this past Sunday, we had the opportunity to honor two of our soldiers who have been and continue to fight the good fight. Bobby and Marshall Ward celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. A marriage, I'm sure, that's been full of love and joy and challenges and accomplishments, and maybe an occasional thought of murder, but not divorce. And tomorrow, we have the opportunity to participate in a young family's witness to their faith, as Brian and Lisa Finkelstaller bring their second child, Henry, to God's altar to ask his church to bring him into his great and unending kingdom through the sacrament of baptism. A new soldier to add to the ranks. Marriage is an act of will that signifies and involves a mutual gift which unites the spouses and binds them to their eventual souls, with whom they make up a soul family, a domestic church. This, my brothers and sisters, is how, through the abundant graces of God, we bring light to a darkened world and win